look at Cass, they're going to be a bit destabilised with Lindsay Anfield going.
Yeah, and I think some of the people will have predicted Cass before we knew about Lindsay Anfield leaving the Tigers. So that is a big question for them to answer. I know Wigan were a bit destabilised, I think, in 2019 by the change of coach as well. So I've seen it firsthand there at the Wigan women's side. So yeah, Leeds and Saints definitely for me are the two sides I expect to compete in the grand final, and Saints are the one tipped to win it. The NRL. I think we've got a bit more variety going on when we've done the NRL. We've never done a prediction for the NRL, but because I was putting the Rugby League World Cup in there, I thought, why not throw the NRL in there as well? It's just an extra button for people to press. And people pressed for the Storm, the Roosters, and the Rabbitohs as the most popular. So the Storm got 18% of the predictions, the Roosters got 20%, and the Rabbitohs got 21%. Panthers were next popular with 15%, actually, outside of that three, and the Raiders, the Wigan Raiders, got 13%. 5 teams got no votes. But let's talk about the teams that we did vote for. And I'm going to start, and I'm going to say that I made my vote before the first round of fixtures, and I picked the Rabbitohs, and of course they were beaten by the Storm in the first round of fixtures. But I did see enough from the Rabbitohs to suggest that, other than the sloppy first half where they kind of didn't get into their groove, there's enough there. I think they've got so much high caliber depth at the Rabbitohs this year in all departments that they have to be there or thereabouts, especially if Latrell Mitchell stays fit for the whole year. So I'm going to stick with my pick of the Rabbitohs. Sarah, you've gone for
the Eels. Hello?
Because?
Oh. Sorry, it all seemed to go silent. The Eels. Because, well, we all know how knowledgeable I am about the NRL. And now I've got a team, I've got to stick with them, haven't I?
Yeah, I mean, David Hunter will be happy with that pick. And
I managed to accidentally stumble across part of their match today.
I don't know how they went on, actually. Is it?
They won.
They won. Yeah, it's a good game.
They beat my choice today, Mark.
Well, that brings us neatly on to your choice for the Storm then. Big name loss at the top of that club in Cameron Smith's retirement, but you still think that they're going to be able to retain the trophy from last year?
Well,
you did.
I did at the time I made this prediction, Mark. But as my Super Brew predictions will show, my NRL knowledge and skill level is a little bit lacking. I have to say, having watched most of last week's games, I'm a little less convinced. I mean, the Storm won, but I'm a little less convinced. If I had to pick again now, I'd probably pick the Roosters.
Well, Alan, you did pick the Roosters, so why did you pick the Roosters?
Because they're perennial competitors.
Stupid question. Because they're always there or thereabouts.
Because it's Easts. What else is there to say? With the Storm, the most consistent team of the last 10 years, always in the grand final or winning it or getting knocked out of the kind of elimination stages. It was purely from a proven pedigree point of view that I chose the Roosters.
Tim, you went the same, so anything to add to that?
It was almost identical, really, and I just think that they'll be looking to get there or thereabouts once again, and I just have a good feeling about them, and I think if you look at last year, they missed out, but again, I think they've just got that residual quality within their side that should see them through.
There's a bit of desperation, though, isn't there, about them? I mean, trying to get rules changes so they can play 17-year-olds. That's just there's a whiff of desperation there. No, I'm joking.
I mean, it could be something special as well.
Yeah.
I think that could be a factor, and we could see. I mean, or it could be that he gets injured in the first week and we don't see him again.
There's 3 trophies at the end of this year that we're increasingly confident we will get to watch. Battled out for first of all and then awarded in this country, and they are the 3 Rugby League World Cups. Of course, we don't want to discount the PDRL World Cup, but that's more an invitation and exhibition tournament, even though those guys absolutely, heroic stuff that they can do that I can't do with my more complete body. So every credit to those guys. But in the men's tournament, not a huge surprise in what people went for. Tonga got 6% of the vote. They were the third favourites with only 6% of the vote. England were the second favourites with only 15% of the vote. 71% of people think that Australia are going to retain the World Cup for a third triumph in a row. Some people think New Zealand, Fiji, Wales and Greece have got a chance of winning. I don't know how much ouzo the person had when they put the money down on Greece there. But anyway,
was that Bruiser by any chance?
I honestly haven't been and checked who it was. But when Greece win, we'll definitely be checking that.
We're going to look stupid, aren't we?
71% of the voters went Australia. 4 out of the 5 of us went Australia as well. So I guess short answers are only needed from you guys on why you've gone Australia. So we'll go in order alphabetically. Alan, why Australia?
Because they always win it.
David, why Australia?
The best players, I'm afraid.
Sarah, why Australia?
I actually thought I'd gone for England. Maybe I thought about going for England, and then I thought, don't be daft, Australia will win it, because, they always win it.
Yeah, you just got tripped up at the last moment, yeah.
When you're like, I really, really, really want to go for this. No, I've ticked that one.
Alan, you're just making those flashbacks. Vivid. Tim, why Australia?
I just think the quality they've got and the strength in depth, and I think also the fact that they're going to be their season, the way it's curtailed, they've got some breaks in there, they've got some rhythm. That the best players will be playing in Origin as well, which will give them that extra step up in quality. It's not quite going to be the same as England against the combined University of Nation League, whatever it's going to be called.
England against potential Cook Island starters.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be the same level of competition, and I think it's just the strength they're going to be able to call on is just going to be far greater. And I just think the England players are just going to be knackered.
Well, you see,
by the time they get to that,
I've gone for England. I'm not the most patriotic of people, but when it comes to my rugby league, I most definitely am. And Sean Wayne is a man I trust to not necessarily entertain me all the time, but certainly to give me something that I can celebrate trophy wins behind. We've got a good amount of players that will be playing in the NRL, so we'll get all of those things that you talked about, apart from State of Origin, into their system. George Williams will be the best 7 in the world by the end of the year. We'll all be watching him lift the World Cup past that. I get what you're saying about potential burnout with the hefty back end to the season that our Super League competition has. But on the flip side, I think there'll be a slow build up into the season, and these players hopefully will be in prime match condition, if not peak physical health, when it comes to the tournament. And so I'm banging the drum in this particular vote.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said as well, like, if you can't get excited about a World Cup and get yourselves up for a World Cup when it's in your country, then it's a bad state of affairs.
And we could be the only team other than Wales who've actually got supporters in the stadiums.
Yeah.
Depending on quarantine rules and what have you.
There'll be some Aussie that's found his way up from Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah, well, we'll outsing them. The Women's World Cup then, in third place of the voting is our England side with 15% again, but this time that put them in third. Second in the votes was New Zealand with 25%, but a hefty, healthy 56% have tipped Australia to win this one. No one else actually got more than one vote. Brazil, France and PNG all got a vote each. But all of us stuck to the main 3 there. Tim, you went with Australia.
Yeah, I think the fact that they're starting playing now, they got more of us. Well, they got a season at high level and all levels actually last season. I think that they're just going to be in peak physical condition. They've got a lot more resource to call from. And I just think the England side, A, they're going to be knackered. B, the level of competition I think is going to be diluted this year by expanding to 10-team Super League. So I think that's going to be harmful. And I also think this St Helens or else factor is actually going to be harmful to England's chances, that they're going to be too comfortable and they won't necessarily... I'm going to be proved wrong, but I don't think they're going to be picking form players. I think it'll just be who's in the camp.
Why you picked Australia, not why. Don't bring a cloud over our England side.
But that's the choice. It's the between the three, and that's where I think it goes.
David, you went Australia as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that for me, England would be third favourites out of the three top teams. And having watched Australia and New Zealand last year or late the season before, I just thought they looked a step ahead and of our women. And Australia, I think, are the best team and will continue to show that this time, I'm afraid.
Alan, you and me both went for New Zealand. Now, I maybe was a bit influenced by the All-Stars game that happened, the most recent women's match that I'd watched before this vote was made, and so maybe that's why I went New Zealand. But I think they almost have a team togetherness that's really strong, I feel, in that New Zealand side. So, in a tournament where they're going to be halfway across the world and all together for a long period of time, for a number of weeks, I think that'll really help this New Zealand side gel even more. And with the talent level they've got, sometimes they don't execute great, but I think that sustained period they'll have together, I just think it'll be great for their spirit. I don't know if you agree.
I just have a slight feeling that, we tend to see New Zealand teams build into tournaments, don't we? And I just have a feeling that they're a team that has competed with Australia and can compete with them on a regular basis. So yeah, it was a toss up between the two for me, and yeah, I just went Kiwi.
Sarah, I've saved you for last on this one because you've gone where we all should have gone with our patriotic swell of euphoria ahead of this World Cup. You voted for England, so how do you think our ladies are going to do it?
To be honest, I went for England because I don't know masses about, the women's game generally. And I figured let's just vote for England.
Well, we're all going to be supporting England, let's face it. So let's go for England. I'm on board. And in a tournament, actually, where England might be the favourites is the wheelchair tournament. So third in the fans voting, joint with 3% of the vote. I can't remember how many votes that translated to, but not many. Spain and the USA. In second jointly, with 10% of the votes, were Australia and France. But out there, the most popular side to win any of these competitions is England, 72%. So we should be expecting a dominant performance. Everyone got one vote apart from Norway, so the other sides involved got votes as well, but didn't break into that top three. But Alan, you're the only one of us that didn't go England, but you did go with a team with some wheelchair pedigree.
Yeah, that's exactly why I went for them. They're a team that's got a proven record of winning these things. So and
Are you going to explain which team?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
It's only obvious to those of us that can see the computer screen.
That's true. That is true. Yes, I went with France. Vive la France. They've got a proven track record of winning, and it was a different vote. Although now I'm realising I haven't voted for a home nation for any of the three, so I feel a bit unpatriotic all of a sudden.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you could have gone for Scotland if you wanted to go for a team wearing blue to win it, but you chose elsewhere. Tim, you'll be geographically most close to the England's wheelchair games, won't you? Because they're being played at the Copper Box in the group stage. So
They are, yeah. I've got tickets. I'm down for that. Looking forward.